Do-do-do-do-do. We're starting off a tier list. I don't know why I'm smacking my thighs. We're starting a tier list today. We're doing a whole series on tier lists. We're going to do all of this crap here. And today, here it is. The beautiful tier list. Now, you can see, we have all the generations here. And we have all the starters from each generation. My God, it's so hot in here. What we're going to do is we're going to categorize them from best to worst. Starting off with Elite Four, Gym Leader, Team Rocket, Bug Catcher Carl, and You Fainted. All right, here's how we're ranking them. However I feel like it. Whether I like the way they look, I like the way they played in the game, or hell, even if it's nostalgia. If you don't like it, go start your own YouTube channel. Do your own tier list. We are starting off with Gen 1, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Where do they belong? Ooh, man. I don't know how I feel about this one. Bulbasaur. See, I feel like Bulbasaur in the beginning game just wasn't very good. He just wasn't. Nobody picked Bulbasaur as a kid. But damn, it's Bulbasaur. You know what? Just because he evolved into a really good Pokemon, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put him as a gym leader. I'm going to put him in that A category. He's a damn good Pokemon. Really cool design. I'm going to stick him there. Charmander, we don't even have to. This isn't a contest. Charmander gets Elite Four status. This Pokemon's amazing. He's everybody's first. And, let's be honest, same goes with Squirtle. Squirtle's up there. He's not ahead of Charmander because I think in the beginning of the game, Charmander was just OP as shit, right? Was just super OP. Fire Pokemon, turned into Charizard, everyone loves Charizard. You knew that was happening, just move on. To Gen 2, we have Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Alright. Where, oh where? I feel bad, because I'm going to put Chikorita as a gym leader, man. I just didn't, again, I didn't vibe with him, but it's Chikorita. I still have some nostalgia for him. He just has to go there. You know, I think he's going to have to go down a hair. I'm sorry. He just wasn't that good, and I don't have anything tied to him. Even when I did play him and go through and get him as a starter again from the old games, I didn't care. Now, Cyndaquil. This is going to be controversial. He's going as a gym leader, man. I'm sorry. He just does. He was great. He was fantastic. But man, I don't know. I just didn't have the attachment to him. I think that second evolution he turned into, Quilava, just looked like crap. I mean, it looked like a slug. I didn't like it. Very phallic. Obviously, we know where Totodile's going. He's going at the top. He's like the Charizard in terms of a starter, right? I mean, all the starters look cute and cuddly. Totodile has that, but he also has that brutality to him that just looks awesome. And I actually used him as my first pick back then, so that's why he's there. All right, guys, we're moving on to Gen 3. Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip. So, Trico. Dang, I feel like I'm just going to be heavily biased here because he's going in Team Rocket. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of any of his evolutions. I did play the game through him because I've always picked fire or water, right? And I didn't want to keep doing that. So when I got a hold of this one, I just wasn't a fan. Torchic. I actually really like Torchic and through the evolutions. So, I think Torchic has to be a gym leader. Only because, again, the evolutions weren't really strong there. Wasn't a big fan of the design, and it's just where he's going to have to go. Lastly, Mudkip. I think Mudkip's completely C. I just didn't vibe with him. Didn't like him. Didn't like his movesets in the beginning. Just wasn't a fan. If you were, sorry, you suck. All right, Gen 4. These are one of my favorites. We have Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup. Turtwig. I think this is going to be our first grass type in Elite Four status. Let me tell you why. I think Turtwig just looked cool. He had that weird turtle vibe, kind of Bulbasaur looking, but he just had better colors. He just looked cooler. I like using him, man. He was great. And then when you go through his evolutions, he was even better. So I mean, I just think he evolved into something fantastic. Chimchar, no question. He's Elite Four status. Move on. I mean, he turned into just this fire-breathing monkey that murked everybody. From an evolution standpoint, he's up here, right? But I mean, from the starter, he was such a well-designed character. I mean, all the fire guys just look great. Everyone's good in red. Just do red your whole life. Piplup. The only reason Piplup doesn't get Elite Four status. I think a beautifully designed Pokemon. This was a great generation for their design. Just something about him. Something about his face. Just wasn't a big fan, man. I just didn't like him. All right. Gen 5. I think this is one of the weakest we had with Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott. Look, man, I'm sorry. It just sucks. I didn't want him. He's the first fire one I didn't want to start with. I just hate the design. It's just not cool looking. It's just, everything's weird. I mean, what the hell is that little thing in his face? It's just weird, right? Then we have Snivy. Snivy is the better of the three, but still a weak offering, even through the evolution. I'm sorry, I think everyone is going to Bugcatcher Carl. Damn, that sucks. Well, Oshawott wasn't much better. Like I said, I think this was just the weakest design for these guys. It just wasn't a good year. They didn't have that starter thing, right? They just looked like guys you'd see on the main road. It just, nobody wanted any of these. Nobody looked at these and was like, oh, I'm picking this guy. I have to get this guy. It was just like, well, I guess I'll pick the lesser of the evils, right? This is the first time you picked an element, not a Pokemon. We're going to Gen 6, where we have Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie. I really liked Chespin, but from a, damn, I keep having to put grass Pokemon in gym leader status. He looked cool, the design was cool, but again, there was just something missing. It had the cute factor, but it was just a little too much going on with him, and then just the movesets themselves, I just wasn't a big fan. Fennekin is like the poor man's Vulpix, and I'm sorry, Fennekin has to go in Team Rocket. I'm just not a fan of the design, dude. It's just, like I said, it went from like that super, the last generation was like super just nothing to like just overdoing it, just way overdid it. But Froakie, I can't put him as an Elite Four, but I will put him in a gym leader status. The only reason is because his evolutions weren't very good, but damn, I mean, Froakie was the only one of them where I was like, I'm picking that guy. I knew the minute I saw him, I was picking him. Moving on to Gen 7, where we have Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio. I'll be honest, this was another generation I wasn't a big fan of their fire Pokemon. Oh, for that reason, he's going... I think he's my first You Fainted. He was really bad. He just looked like a really bad fan art. I thought I was gonna put him Bugcatcher Carl, but he's low. Ooh, that makes me feel icky for some reason. Moving on, Owlet. Oh, dude. Owlet also has to go to You Fainted. Wow, this is depressing. You know, I think it's not so much design with these guys. I think they're very uninspired designs, but at the end of the day, man, there's just nothing here nostalgic-wise. I wasn't a big fan of the game, so I wasn't a big fan of them, but I will give you this. Popplio was perfect. He gets really high up there in gym leader status. I can't give him the Elite Four status because there's just, again, he doesn't have that toughness, just instant credibility that like Squirtle and Totodile had, but man, he's a damn good design character and he was great in the game. I absolutely loved him. Moving on to Gen 8, we're going to Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. Sobble, to me, is sucked. He's Bugcatcher Carl. He looked like a dork. He looked like a goon, man. I just wasn't a fan. And you know, here's the thing. I think the same can be said, yeah, about Grookey. I just don't like it. But I do think from a design aspect, I'm going to put him up higher than I wanted to. I wanted to put him Bugcatcher Carl. He's definitely up there. He just looks good. He's a good looking Pokemon. But again, he falls into that category of like Pokemon you'd be happy to have on one of the routes. You just don't want to start the game with him. He just doesn't have that instant like appeal, right? Lastly, we have Scorbunny. Scorbunny, I liked him, but I didn't like his evolutions. And then even then, like I just didn't like, he has to go Team Rocket, man. That sucked. I wasn't, like I said, I was a fan, but again, it falls in that category of you're doing too much, was also doing too little. More design, more stuff on him doesn't make him a better looking Pokemon, and on top of that, he's got a goofy face, man. I'm being so mean. That sucks. We're ending on Gen 9, obviously. Fuecoco, Spirigatio, or Spirigatito. How do you say it? Sprigatito? And Quaxly. So, Fuecoco. I want to start with Fuecoco. I think he's the worst designed one. Other than Litten. Yeah, no. I think the other two are still bad, but he's bad. He's bad. From a cute factor, oh man, maybe he goes up. He's cute. He's cute, and I want him to go up, but his evolutions, God, they take him down. He just sucks. Maybe he goes up. He's already there. He's staying. Quaxly. I am just not a fan. I don't think anybody should. He's just a duck with like a quaff. Bugcatcher Carl. I just don't like the newer generations. I just think they lost a little bit of spark. Ran out of some ideas. And like I said, it's an existing thing in the world with a quick slap on it. And maybe that's what the first gen was, and I just have the nostalgia for it. But it is what it is. Lastly, Biragati. This guy. You know, I think he's actually really well designed. I don't think he has the magic that the first generations had, but I definitely think there's a hint of it in there. So I'm gonna have to put him in gym leader status. I think he's gorgeous. I think he looks really, really good. Yep, that's what we're going with. Before we finish, I want to do the Elite Four in order. Okay, so we have oh man. Okay, we have Charmander, Squirtle, Totodile, Turtwig, and Chimchar. You know what? It's my list, and I'll put them in any order I want. I'm sorry, but Chimchar definitely has to go above Turtwig. I know this. I want to put Chimchar ahead of Totodile, but I have to. I have to put Totodile in front because I think he's just a better looking Pokemon. And the top two, who's better, Squirtle? You know what? Here's why Squirtle's gonna win. Squirtle is the best designed Pokemon, and for one reason, the glasses. God, I had a phone case that was the Squirtle with the glasses. Charmander does have a little bit of like a whiny thing going on in the series, and then, you know, he turns into Charizard. Blastoise is pretty sick too. You know what? We're calling it. That's the list. We're all done. The list is beautiful. If you don't like the list, jog on. Hey, if you guys liked it, like, subscribe, share with a friend. I'm gonna put the tier list in the description. That way you guys can go through, comment it, send me pictures of it, DM me. I want to see what you guys chose and how you guys felt about the last generations. I didn't realize I was so biased in the last generation. If you guys disagree with my top 5, with my S list, man, you need to go in the comments and you need to say something, because I think it's perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. I'm glad you guys sat through the video, watched this whole thing with me. This is so hard to make, and I sat here doing this a couple times and I just couldn't do it right. Thanks, man. I hope you guys have a very great rest of your day.